For those living in first world countries, the ongoing worldwide pandemic is something entirely new, as it upends lives and changes life as we know it. That being said, other parts of the world encounter deadly viruses on the daily, and it's important to understand what else is out there. This is our breakdown of the 10 scariest viruses in the world. Number 10. Ebola virus. The first known Ebola outbreak in humans struck simultaneously in the Republic of Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1976. Ebola is spread through contact with blood or other bodily fluids or tissue from infected people or animals. The known strains vary dramatically in their deadliness. Elke Mulberger, an Ebola virus expert and associate professor of microbiology at Boston University, told Live Science. One strain, Ebola rustin, doesn't even make people sick. But for the Bundibugyo strain, the fatality rate is up to 50%, and it's up to 71% for the Sudan strain, according to WHO. From about 2013 to 2016, Western Africa countries faced a severe Ebola outbreak. This outbreak was the most widespread so far in history. While there were minor cases that cropped up elsewhere in the world, the virus was focused on this one small region and had devastating consequences. The World Health Organization believes the magnitude of this outbreak was much greater than statistics being reported, but couldn't accurately say so far. Number 9. Rabies. Although rabies vaccines for pets, which were introduced in the 1920s, have helped make the disease exceedingly rare in the developed world, this condition remains a serious problem in India and parts of Africa. It destroys the brain. It's a really bad disease, Mulberger said. We have a vaccine against rabies, and we have antibodies that work against rabies, so if someone gets bitten by a rabid animal, we can treat this person, she said. However, she said, if you don't get treatment, there's a 100% possibility you will die. Rabies has small outbreaks, but of course, it isn't nearly as contagious as some other viruses. The virus strikes quickly, and those who are bitten should seek help immediately after washing the wound with soap and water. The incubation period for rabies is often 2 to 8 weeks. However, in rare cases, it can be as long as 10 days to 2 years. Once showing signs of illness, those who have contracted the virus typically pass within 7 days. Number 8. HIV. In the modern world, the deadliest virus of all may be HIV. It is still the one that is the biggest killer, said Dr. Amesh Adalya, an infectious disease physician and spokesman for the Infectious Disease Society of America. An estimated 32 million people have died from HIV since the disease was first recognized in the early 1980s. The infectious disease that takes the biggest toll on mankind right now is HIV, Adalya said. Powerful antiviral drugs have made it possible for people to live years with HIV, but the disease continues to devastate many low and middle-income countries where 95% of new HIV infections occur. Nearly 1 in every 25 adults within the WHO African region is HIV positive, accounting for more than 2/3 of the people living with HIV worldwide. Number 7. Smallpox. In 1980, the World Health Assembly declared the world free of smallpox. But before that, humans battled smallpox for thousands of years, and the disease killed about 1 in 3 of those infected. It left survivors with deep, permanent scars and often blindness. Mortality rates were far higher in populations outside of Europe, where people had had little contact with the virus before visitors brought it to their regions. For example, historians estimate 90% of the native population of the Americas died from smallpox introduced by European explorers. In the 20th century alone, smallpox killed 300 million people. It was something that had a huge burden on the planet, not just death, but also blindness, and that's what spurred the campaign to eradicate the virus from the earth, Adalya said. Number 6. Influenza. During a typical flu season, up to 500,000 people worldwide will die from the illness, according to WHO. But occasionally, when a new flu strain emerges, a pandemic results with a faster spread of disease and, often, higher mortality rates. The most deadly flu pandemic, sometimes called the Spanish flu, began in 1918 and sickened up to 40% of the world's population, killing an estimated 50 million people. I think that it is possible that something like the 1918 flu outbreak could occur again, Mulberger said. If a new influenza strain found its way in the human population and could be transmitted easily between humans and cause severe illness, we would have a big problem. Number 5. Rotavirus. 2 vaccines are now available to protect children from rotavirus, the leading cause of severe diarrheal illness among babies and young children. The virus can spread rapidly through what researchers call the fecal-oral route, meaning that small particles of feces end up being consumed. Gross. Although children in the developed world rarely die from rotavirus infection, the disease is a killer in the developing world where rehydration treatments are not widely available. The WHO estimates that, worldwide, 453,000 children younger than age 5 died from rotavirus infection in 2008. But countries that have introduced the vaccine have reported sharp declines in rotavirus hospitalizations and deaths. Number 4. Dengue. Dengue virus first appeared in the 1950s in the Philippines and Thailand and has since spread throughout the tropical and subtropical regions of the globe. Up to 40% of the world's population now lives in areas where dengue is endemic, and the disease, with the mosquitoes that carry it, is likely to spread farther as the world warms. Dengue sickens 50 to 100 million people a year, according to WHO. Although the mortality rate for dengue fever is lower than some other viruses at 2.5%, the virus can cause an Ebola-like disease called dengue hemorrhagic fever, and that condition has a mortality rate of 20% if left untreated. We really need to think more about dengue virus because it is a real threat to us, Mullberger said. A vaccine for dengue was approved in 2019 by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for use in children 9 to 16 years old living in areas where dengue is common and with a confirmed history of virus infection, according to the CDC. In some countries, an approved vaccine is available for those 9 to 45 years old, but again, recipients must have contracted a confirmed case of dengue in the past. Those who have not caught the virus before could be put at risk of developing severe dengue if given the vaccine. Number 3. SARS. The virus that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, first appeared in 2002 in the Guangdong province of southern China, according to the WHO. The virus likely emerged in bats initially, then hopped into nocturnal mammals called civets before finally infecting humans. After triggering an outbreak in China, SARS spread to 26 countries around the world, infecting more than 8,000 people and killing more than 770 over the course of 2 years. The disease causes fever, chills, and body aches, and often progresses to pneumonia, a severe condition in which the lungs become inflamed and fill with pus. SARS has an estimated mortality rate of 9.6% and, as of yet, has no approved treatment or vaccine. However, no new cases of SARS have been reported since the early 2000s, according to the CDC. Number 2. COVID-19. Also known as SARS-CoV-2, this virus belongs to the same large family of viruses as SARS-CoV, known as coronaviruses, and was first identified in December 2019 in the Chinese city of Wuhan. The virus likely originated in bats, like SARS-CoV, and passed through an intermediate animal before infecting people. Since its appearance, the virus has infected tens of thousands of people in China and millions of others worldwide. The ongoing outbreak prompted an extensive quarantine of Wuhan and nearby cities, restrictions on travel to and from affected countries, and a worldwide effort to develop diagnostics, treatments, and vaccines. The disease caused by SARS-CoV-2, called COVID-19, has an estimated mortality rate of about 2.3%. People who are older or have underlying health conditions seem to be more at risk of having severe disease or complications. Common symptoms include fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, and the disease can progress to pneumonia in severe cases. Number 1. MERS. The virus that causes Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, sparked an outbreak in Saudi Arabia in 2012 and another in South Korea in 2015. The MERS virus belongs to the same family of viruses as SARS-CoV and SARS-CoV-2 and likely originated in bats as well. The disease infected camels before passing into humans and triggers fever, coughing, and shortness of breath in infected people. MERS often progresses to severe pneumonia and has an estimated mortality rate between 30 and 40%, making it the most lethal of the known coronaviruses that jumped from animals to people. As with SARS-CoV and SARS-CoV-2, MERS has no approved treatments or vaccines. For now, the world is learning how to brace for future pandemics. As we shift towards a more populated planet, it's likely that the ongoing pandemic won't be the last. That being said, doctors and scientists are understanding more and more about these dangerous viruses and how to control them. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. As always, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.